Hello, my dear students. This is Shayma Gharib, and today's lesson about tests of divisibility part 1. In this video, we are going to talk about divisibility by 2, by 5, 10, 100, 50, and 25. Let's start by revising some rules before you watch any video. First, you have to sit in a quiet place. You should have your pen and a piece of paper to take notes and to solve questions. You should pause the video after each question, then you try to answer on your own. Then you play the video to check your answer and to understand the question in case you get a wrong answer. Are you ready? Let's start. What does divisible mean? Divisible means the ability of a number to be divided by another number without remainder. So we can say that 15 is divisible by 3 because we can divide the 15 by 3 and the answer then will be 5 with no remainder. We can also say that 25 is divisible by 5 because we can divide the 25 by 5 without remainder. Let's know how to check divisibility. We can check divisibility using times table facts, or long or short division, or using divisibility tests. And this will be our lesson today. How to check divisibility using divisibility tests. Let's start by divisibility by 2. The number is divisible by 2 if it ends with 0 or 2 or 4 or 6 or 8, which means the digit in the units place or in the ones place is 0, whatever the number is. If it is a big number or a small number, if the digit in the ones place or in the units place is 0, 2, 4 or 6 or 8, then this number divisible by 2. Divisibility by 5. The number is divisible by 5 if it ends with 0 or 5, which means the digit in the units or the ones place is 0 or 5. Let's see examples. We have here a 4-digit number. The digit in the ones place or in the units place is 0, as you can see here. So this number is divisible by 5. And in the units place here, there is 5, then 3,425 is divisible by 5. And also we have 22,450 ends with 0 in the units or in the ones place, then this number is divisible by 5. Divisibility by 10. The number is divisible by 10 if it ends with 0. This number ends with 0, this number ends with 0, this number ends with 0, so the three numbers here are divisible by 10. 4,300, 342,000, 22,450. Divisibility by 100. The number is divisible by 100 if it ends with, what do you think, 2 zeros. For example, 4,300, it ends with 2 zeros. 22,000 ends with 2 zeros. Then both numbers are divisible by 100. Divisibility by 50. The number is divisible by 50 if it ends with, what do you think, 0, 0 or 50. Let's see examples. 43,000, 6,200 and 22,450. So the first number here ends with 0, 0, and the second number ends with 0, 0, and the third number ends with 50, which means the digits in the units and in the tens place. Is this clear? Now let's see divisibility by 25. The number is divisible by 25 if it ends with 0, 0, 25, 50, and 75. Let's see examples. 4,300 ends with 0, 0. 3,425 ends with 25. 22,450 ends with 50. 1,675 ends with 75. So all these numbers are divisible by 25. Is this clear? Now let's sum up all the divisibility tests that we talked about, and remember together the number is divisible by 2 if it ends with 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, which means the digit in the units place. The number is divisible by 5 if it ends with 0 or 5, which means the digit in the units place is 0 or 5. The number is divisible by 10 if it ends with 0, which means the digit in the units place or in the ones place is 0, then the number is divisible by 10. And we can also say if the number ends with 0, it could be divisible by 10, it could be divisible by 5, it could be divisible by 2. The number is divisible by 100 if it ends with 0, 0 in the units and tens. The number is divisible by 50 if it ends with 0, 0 or 50. The number is divisible by 25 if it ends with 0, 0, 25, 50 or 75. Is this clear? It's really important to know the divisibility tests for all these numbers. Now, let's see some questions. Is number 138 divisible by 5? Why? Or explain. So we said the number is divisible by 5 if it ends with 5. So this number is not. So the answer will be no. And the reason or the explanation part will be because the number is divisible by 5 if it ends with 0 or 5. Or we can say because all multiples of 5 should end with 0 or 5. Is number 1380 divisible by 100 and why? Is it divisible by 100? Of course no. Why? Because it ends with 80 and we said the number is divisible by 100 if it ends with 0, 0. Or because all multiples of 100 should end with 0, 0. Now let's solve some questions. Is number 1385 divisible by 10? Why? We are going to say no, because the number is divisible by 10 if it ends with 0. So in this type of questions, you have to mention the reason and the test or the rule of divisibility of the number. Don't just say no because it's not divisible by 10 or there will be remainder. You have to mention that you know the rule of divisibility by 10. Or whatever the number is, because all multiples of 10 should end with 0. Okay. Is number 1355 divisible by 25 and why? The answer also no, because the number is divisible by 25. So here I have to mention the rule of divisibility by 25. If it ends with 0, 0 or 25 or 50 or 75. Or because all multiples of 25 should end with 0, 0, 25, 50 or 75. Is number 5055 divisible by 50? Of course not. Why? Because the number is divisible by 50 if it ends with 0, 0 or 50. Or because all multiples of 50 should end with 0, 0 or 50. Is number 130 divisible by 5? Why? Yes, because the number is divisible by 5 if it ends with 0 or 5. Or because all multiples of 5 should end with 0 or 5. Is number 13,000 divisible by 100? Yes, because the number is divisible by 100 if it ends with 0, 0. Or because all multiples of 100 should end with 0, 0. Is number 1375 divisible by 25? Why? Yes, it is. Why? Because the number is divisible by 25 if it is if it ends with 0, 0, or 25, or 50, or 75. Or because all multiples of 25 should end with 0, 0, 25, 50, or 75. And as we said again, we have to mention the rule. Yes, is number 1378 divisible by 2? Yes. Why? The reason is because the number is divisible by 2 if it ends with 0 or 2 or 4 or 6 or 8, or we can say that all multiples of 2 should end with 0 or 2 or 4 or 6 or 8. Now look at this question. Check divisibility by 2, 5, 10, 25, 50, and 100 for all the following numbers. Number 2390 is divisible by what? Look at this number. Is it divisible by 2? Yes, because it ends with 0. Then divisibility by 2. Is it divisible by 5? Yes, because it ends with 0. So it's divisible by 5. Is it divisible by 10? Yes, because it ends with 0. So it's also divisible by 10. What about the 25? Is it divisible by 25? No, because we said the number is divisible by 25 if it ends with 0, 0, 25, 50, or 100. So I will not write 25. What about the 50? Is it divisible by 50? No. Is it divisible by 100? Of course not, because it does not end with 0, 0. So it's only divisible by 2, 5, and 10 from these numbers. 1950 is divisible by, what about the 2? Yes, it ends with 0, so it will be divisible by 2. What about the 5? Yes, it ends with 0, so it's divisible by 5 and divisible by 10 as well. What about the 50? Is it divisible by 50? Yes, because it ends with 50. Is it divisible by 100? No, the number is divisible by 100 if it ends with 0, 0. 4300 is divisible by, of course, it ends with 0, so it will be divisible by 2 and 5 and 10. What about the 25? It ends with 0, 0, so it is divisible by 25 and divisible by 50 and divisible by 100. 9375 is divisible by, is it divisible by 2? No. It ends with 5, so it's not divisible by 2. Is it divisible by 5? Yes. Is it divisible by 10? No. Is it divisible by 25? Yes, because it ends with the 75 here. Is it divisible by 50? No. Is it divisible by 100? No. 8395 is divisible by, is it divisible by 2? No. Is it divisible by 5? Yes, it ends with 5, so it's divisible by 5. Is it divisible by 10? No. Is it divisible by 25? No. Is it divisible by 50? No. Is it divisible by 100? No. So it's only divisible by 5. 29,000 is divisible by, of course, it's divisible by 2 and 5 and 10 and 25 and 50 and 100. Write true or false. A number can be divisible by many numbers, as we said before. So let's read this question. All numbers that divisible by 5 are also divisible by 10. What do you think? If the number is divisible by 5, so it is divisible by 10 as well. If it ends with 0, it will be divisible by 10. What if the number ends with 5? Would it be divisible by 10? No. So this statement is false. All numbers that divisible by 10 are also divisible by 5. Do you remember the rule of 10? If the number ends with 0, so all multiples of 10 ends with 0, then all multiples of 10 are multiples of 5 as well. So if the number is divisible by 10, it means it's also divisible by 5. Then this statement will be true. So can you see the difference between the two sentences? All numbers that divisible by 100 are also divisible by 10. What do you think? The number is divisible by 100 if it ends with 0, 0. If the number is divisible by 100, then it must be divisible by 10 as well. Why? Because 100 is a multiple of 10. Same as this example, the 10 is a multiple of 5. then any multiple of 10 is a multiple of 5. The 100 is a multiple of 10. Then any multiple of 100, any multiple of 10, any multiple of 100 will be a multiple of 10 as well. Okay? All numbers that divisible by 10 are also divisible by 100? No. Is the 10 multiple of 100? No. So, for example, number 30, it's divisible by 10, but is it divisible by 100? No. So this statement is false. All numbers that divisible by 50 are also divisible by 25? Of course. Why? Because 50 is a multiple of 25. Then all the multiples of 50 are multiples of 25. So this statement is true. Okay, this is the end of our lesson today. Thank you for watching and see you soon.